Have you ever wondered where the everyday items we use actually came from? People often say that hard work beats talent, or that failure is the mother of success. But back in the Stone Age, most of the greatest inventions were born from clumsiness and pure luck. Let's travel back 10,000 years to see how our ancestors shaped the world. Our first scene takes place inside the cave of a prehistoric man named Grokkk. Grokkk was an energetic young man, but he also had the clumsiest hands in the entire tribe. One beautiful morning, Grokkk was given an incredibly important task, keeping the entire cave warm. He was handed two gray stones and told to rub them together to generate a little heat. Bored out of his mind, Grokkk kept smashing the two stones together while absent-mindedly watching a few dinosaurs wandering outside. Suddenly, a spark flew out and shot straight into a pile of dry leaves nearby. The fire burst into flames, startling Grokkk so badly that he fell flat on his back. Instead of putting out the fire, he panicked and threw a fresh wild boar leg right into the flames. A few minutes later, a mouth-watering aroma spread throughout the cave. Grokkk cautiously walked over, picked up the slightly charred piece of meat and took a bite. And just like that, fire. And the first barbecue in human history were born. After this unexpected success, Grokkk began to believe he was truly a genius. However, another problem soon appeared as the freezing winter arrived. The entire tribe huddled inside the cave with nothing to wear except a few fallen leaves. Grokkk decided to hunt a saber-toothed tiger so he could use its hide as a warm sleeping mat. But the tiger was far too strong and chased Grokkk through the entire forest. While desperately weaving through thorn bushes, Grokk's leafy clothes were ripped to shreds. He quickly grabbed a dried animal hide that was hanging nearby and wrapped it around himself for cover. When he finally made it back to the tribe, everyone stared at him in admiration. They thought he had just invented a brand new, high-class fashion style. And just like that, the fashion industry and animal hide clothing was born from a desperate escape. But traveling on 2 feet while dragging heavy loads was a complete nightmare. Every time the tribe needed to move stones to build shelters, it took weeks of exhausting labor. Standing on top of a hill, Grokkk accidentally let a round stone slip from his hands, and it slowly rolled downhill. The stone quickly picked up speed and slammed straight into the tribe leader's backside. The chief was furious, but Grokkk suddenly had a brilliant idea. He carved a hole through the center of the round stone and inserted a wooden pole through it. The first wheel wasn't invented for transporting goods. It was invented so Grokkk could race away from a beating. With the wheel, traveling became much faster and far more convenient. But long journeys without entertainment were incredibly boring. One day while picking fruit, Grokkk accidentally stepped on the tail of a rattlesnake. The creature made rhythmic sounds that matched the beat of Grokk's footsteps. Finding it amusing, he started banging 2 dry sticks together in the same rhythm. The other prehistoric men joined in, grabbing sheep thigh bones and pounding them against rocks. Stone Age rock music was born, and soon the entire tribe was dancing with excitement. After all that energetic dancing, everyone's stomachs started growling again. Hunting wild animals took far too much time and effort for the men and women of the tribe. Grokkk came up with the idea of herding a flock of sheep into a stone enclosure near the cave. He was so lazy that instead of preparing a proper meal, he simply placed cooked meat between 2 pieces of wild bread. The very first fast food was born, allowing the tribe to eat while walking with incredible convenience. But once the meal was over, cleaning up became another disaster. Trash and animal bones piled up around the cave, creating a terrible smell. Grokkk tied a bundle of dry grass to the end of a wooden stick to sweep everything up more quickly. While sweeping, he accidentally discovered that pushing the waste into the river cleaned the cave surprisingly well. Although it wasn't exactly environmentally friendly, the very first broom was born. Once the housework was done, Grokkk found himself facing loneliness once again. He wanted to send a message to his girlfriend in the neighboring cave, but he had no idea how. Grokkk picked up a piece of charcoal and drew a broken heart on the cave wall to express how much he missed her. His girlfriend saw the drawing, understood it immediately, and ran over to give Grokkk a big hug. And that was how picture messages and the Stone Age version of social media were invented. However, communicating through drawings on cave walls took up far too much space. Grok began thinking of shorter symbols to record the amount of food supplies. One line meant one sheep, two lines meant two sheep, and three lines meant an entire flock. The earliest writing system and primitive mathematics officially came into existence, leaving everyone around him completely bewildered. Once writing existed, disputes over property began to arise within the tribe. Grok stepped in as a mediator and came up with the idea of using beautiful seashells as a medium of exchange. Whoever owned the most seashells became the richest person in the tribe. Money and the Stone Age banking system were born from empty seashells. Now that they had money, the prehistoric men became lazy and no longer wanted to do everything themselves. Grok domesticated a chubby little wild dog to guard the cave and help him gather supplies. The first human pet appeared, bringing warmth and companionship to families. But then the scorching summer arrived, making it difficult to keep food fresh. Wild boar meat left outside for just 2 days would spoil and become impossible to eat. By accident, Grok dropped a piece of meat into a rocky hollow filled with ice and snow high on a mountain. When he returned a few days later, he was amazed to find that the meat was still perfectly fresh. The Stone Age refrigerator was born from the clumsiness of the absent-minded Grok. As life became more modern, the prehistoric men began putting on weight. Grok looked at his growing belly and decided he had to do something to get back into shape. Every day, he lifted 2 enormous stones up and down to show off his muscles to the girls. The Stone Age gym was born, featuring hardcore stone weight workouts. However, training too hard gave Grok headaches and sore muscles. He lay down on a pile of cool, fresh herbs to rest. The fragrance released by the herbs helped Grok relax and eased his headache. Medicine and natural herbal spa therapy officially came into existence. After recovering his health, Grok wanted to search for richer lands beyond his home. He built a boat from the hollow trunk of a rotten tree. The moment the boat reached the middle of the river, it sank because the wood had already decayed. Grok barely managed to swim back to shore and realized that he needed to fasten together several fresh wooden planks instead. Thus, the shipbuilding and maritime industry took its soaking wet first step. After creating one incredible invention after another, Grok had become the founding father of technology. The entire tribe held the biggest celebration they had ever had to honor him. They lit a bonfire, danced, enjoyed a barbecue, and eagerly drank fermented fruit juice. Standing proudly on top of a large stone, Grok smiled as he looked over his great achievements. Every modern convenience we enjoy today began with innocent mistakes just like these. So always appreciate unexpected accidents, because you never know, you can be on the verge of inventing something extraordinary. Thank you for following this humorous journey of prehistoric inventions.